Hey, how's it going? All right, don't go anywhere. I've got a question for you. Does it feel like that time is just going by so fast? Maybe every day, maybe once a month, but you're just thinking that time is slipping by. Well, you're not the only one. In today's podcast, I'm going to talk a little bit about why that's happening. Is it something that's real? I mean, is it something that's physical or is it a psychological thing that's going on? So, we all say that there's 24 hours in a day, right? So why does it feel like that there are days that seem like they just slip by and go by so fast? So let me ask you this. Do you ever feel that way? Do you ever ask yourself or saying to people, man, where did the time go? Uh, it's different from saying that I wish I had more time. Now that's different. So there's something that's called the proportional theory. So hang with me on this while I go over some of the reasons why that it feels like that time just goes by so fast. This is especially the older you get. So this proportional theory goes kind of like this. So when you're 10 years old, that is 10% of your life. And that feels like a huge chunk, right? So by the time you're 50 years old, it's just 2% of your life. And that's because each and every single year is a smaller fraction of your total lived experience in life. It kind of seems backwards, but that's just the way it is. And let me explain this and let me ask you this question. So, when you were younger and you were on summer vacation, this is going to make a huge difference for people who are 50 plus or people who are under 30. But when you were 10 years old and summer vacation was here, you had a lot of things that you're doing. Summer vacation seemed like it was a long time. You're having a great time. But now, summer vacation, we'll call it that, it feels shorter, doesn't it? I think so. One of the main reasons for that is that or that life lived experience when we were younger, when we were 10 years old, there was so much that was new and we were experiencing new things every single day, every single moment. But the older we get, we've already experienced a lot of these life or lived experiences. Therefore, each day kind of seems like it runs into each other. And that's why we feel like that days are shorter because when the days run together, again, it seems like it might be backwards. You might say, well, wouldn't it seem like the day's longer because it runs together? No, not necessarily, because there are not highlights in that day. There are not new experiences and new memories because you have so many of those memories already in your brain locked away that the experience of something new and exciting isn't there. So that's part of the clue as to how you're going to fix this and how you're going to make it to where life feels a little bit more exciting and where life feels like, you're not losing time. So it's again, it's this novelty thing, novelty in the memory. I'm gonna go back to saying about the 10-year-old and the 50-year-old, and like I said, it makes a huge difference. And this is my opinion because when you're 10 years old and if you're over 50, you didn't have the internet, right? The internet actually closes that gap between time, is how I look at it, because you're doing that same thing. You're on the internet or you're on your phone and you're constantly texting people, you're constantly looking things up. When kids were 10 years old, if you're above 50, you were a kid. You played, you were outside, you were enjoying things. You missed your friends at school. You know, now summer vacation time, you can still text your friends, you can still message, you could do all this FaceTime and things like that. You've got all the social media. And to me, that's one of the reasons why I think that there is a gap between the younger and the older generation as far as what they feel about time and the meaning of time. I hope that's making sense because what I want you to do today is really sit back and think about those childhood memories, how much fun and how time seemed like it would just go on forever. That's the other thing too, is when we were younger, we always felt that time did not exist because we had so much time. We had a lifetime to live. And the older you get, you start becoming aware that time is running out. Whatever that means to you, time is running out. Some of the other things too, is researchers have said that our brain starts to process things slower as we age. Again, this seems contradictory to what we're talking about. Because if your brain goes slower, you think things are going to be slower, but that's not it. If we're processing things a little bit slower, once again, things seem to run together. You're not for sure from one day to the next. Now, this really makes a difference if you're thinking about a greater period of time, maybe a week or months or years. Where did the time go? I find myself asking that all the time. Before I know it, another year has passed. And I know a lot of you out there who are at least 50 years of age say that all the time. Where did the time go? You know, what happened to the time? What can you do to gain back some of that feeling of time and the importance of time? One of the things is to experience something new. It could be anything. Learn a new language. That was too difficult for me. But learn something new. Pick up an instrument, learn to play an instrument. Heck, even going to the movies allows you to escape a little bit of time. That 2 hours, it's entertainment, it's something new. Watch a documentary, learn something. These are all things that are going to help you slowly gain back that feeling of not losing so much time. Trust me on this. This is real. Another thing is photography. You don't have a camera, but you have a phone. Make a goal. Say you're going to take a new picture, one picture a day of something different. Or set a goal of taking 5 pictures in a week of something different or something that's similar. What this does is it makes you seek out something new and something different. Walk a different path. If you do walk, drive home in a different route. All this makes a difference. And I'm not going to say that you do it once and you're going to go, I feel like I got time back. It's not how it works. You're going to have to do this over and over and over. And don't make it difficult. Don't try to do something new every single day because you're going to have burnout. And that's not what this is about. Again, this is about regaining that feeling of time and getting back that newness, that happiness, if you want to call it, emotional weight, that strong emotion, whether it's something like joy or fear or stress. All these things actually tend to stretch time and make things longer. I don't know. I'm thinking about going to a scary movie and that anticipation. You're sitting in your seat and you're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting because that excitement is coming up, or you want to cover your eyes, but that time just seems to stretch a little bit. Same thing with joy and happiness. I know it's goes like that sometimes, but it's that memory, that emotional weight, that memory that carries it on and makes it seem like it's longer. So, again, I know this podcast is a little bit different from what you're used to. And the reason being is I had 2 cancellations this past week. So, this podcast is something that I wanted to do with an expert to talk about this and bounce things off of. But today, this is what I have to offer you is time, learning how to have excitement back in your life, learning how to gain time back. Not, again, there's only 24 hours a day. And I'm not saying you're going to get 24 and a half hours or anything like that. It's just that perception. Remember, the emotion plays a lot into this. Whether you're happy, sad, or scared, it stretches that time. And I hope that it's the happiness that stretches your time. Please let me know in the comments what you think. Are you experiencing this time burnout? Can I call it that? Or not a time burnout, but where time just seems like it disappears? So let me know in the comments. Are you experiencing any of this? Because again, I think a lot of us have, and maybe a lot of us are. My intent is to get back into doing something exciting, something new, something that I used to do that I used to love. That is photography. I think that's going to help me feel like the day is longer. Again, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope this has been somewhat enlightening or interesting. I will find an expert in this field and bring them back on to talk about this. Until next time, do something fun and enjoy your day. Thanks. Bye. If you are a pet owner, please be a responsible pet owner and have your pets spayed or neutered.